Bob Pisani has today's ETF Edge. Hi, Bob.
Scotty, good to see you. As always, a record year for ETFs, nearly $1 trillion in inflows, over $10 trillion in assets under management. What is next in 2025? Let's talk with Jay Jacobs. He's the U.S. head of Thematics and active equity ETFs at Blackrock, one of the big industry experts out there. One big theme you have in 2025, you already told me, acceleration of AI infrastructure and how that's impacting ETFs. We're entering this new phase, you're telling me, where AI is going to be a lot more integrated into the overall consumer issues. Tell me what ETFs are going to matter here and why you think this is accelerating.
Exactly. So we see the AI theme as having three distinct stages. The build phase, where you have hundreds of billions of dollars being spent on infrastructure. We think semiconductors like SOXX or digital infrastructure like IDGT are ETFs that benefit from this stage. The next stage will be mass adoption across enterprises and individuals. That's where you might see more software names benefit. And then finally, you have the transformation stage. This is maybe 5-10 years out, but this is where entirely new industries will be created using artificial intelligence.
And you've got a future AI and tech ETF, ARTY, you want to talk about. You've also jumped into the mega cap exposure business here, where you're talking about whole new companies here. You've got one that has just the top 20 S&P 500 stocks and the top 30 NASDAQ 100 stocks. I know mega cap concentration has paid off so far, but is there any reason why you and BlackRock thinks this may continue into 2025? You just launched this S&P 500 top 20 ETF a short while ago.
Well, there's really two use cases. One is if you look at the end investor space, 50% of investors in the U.S. don't have exposure to stocks, and a lot of them just want to get into the markets with companies that they're familiar with. So if you look at these top 20 very familiar household names, at the other end of the spectrum, you have professional investors who are actually underweight these top 20 names. You hear about how big they are in the S&P, but actually a lot of investors have moved away from them over the last few years. They need to tactically upweight mega cap tech exposure.
I got to let you go, but the first anniversary of Bitcoin ETFs coming up middle of January. We're going to have you back for that. You've got 50% of the assets under management for that. Enormous success. So I want to have you back and talk about that in the next couple of weeks. We got to go, folks. We've got much more coming up on the big ETF trends for 2025. That's on ETF Edge at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to have Jay back. He's going to be joined by financial futurist Dave Nautic. That's etfedge.cnbc.com.